Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Ryan Flickner from Kansas Farm Bureau about the legislative veto session that started on Wednesday. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean talks about road safety, and Farm Bureau lets us know about the 2016 safety poster winners. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, we'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. An ag economist says price projections for 2016-17 corn and soybeans have room for growth. Darrell Good with the University of Illinois says demand for overall U.S. corn and soybeans the past 2 years has been weak, but he goes on to say that if slower economic growth and plentiful global crops continue, he doesn't see much downside risk in the market. We would see corn prices perhaps moving up into the high $3 average range next year, and soybeans we would see at about the $9.50 as an average price. Good says if 2016 turns into a weather market, farmers might want to consider selling some of their 2017 crop as well. The number of milk cows in the U.S. was up slightly in 2015, reaching 9.3 million head, about equal to the number in 2008. According to the USDA, the size of the U.S. dairy herd reached an historic low of just over 9 million cows in 2004, following a long-term decline of more than 2 million head since 1983. Improving technology and genetics have allowed milk output per cow to rise steadily, increasing by 88% since 1980 and reaching a record high annual average of over 22,000 pounds of milk per cow in 2015. Today is the final deadline for the National Wheat Yield Contest. For the first time in 20 years, the National Wheat Foundation is hosting the National Wheat Yield Contest to promote the quality of U.S. wheat and demonstrate U.S. wheat growers' ability to utilize technology to grow excellent wheat. In order to enter, you must be a member of a recognized state wheat growers organization or of the National Association of Wheat Growers. And in local news, Bayer Crop Science announced the approval and registration by the EPA of Absolute Max fungicide. The fungicide is currently registered in the Great Plains states, including Kansas. Absolute Max is designed to give growers a new tool for disease protection to promote all-around plant health and maximize yield potential in corn and winter wheat. Kansas feedlots with capacities of 1,000 or more head contained 2.1 million cattle on feed on April 1st, according to the USDA's NASS. This inventory was up 3% from last year. Placements during March totaled 425,000 head, up 4% from 2015. Fed cattle marketings for the month of March totaled 390,000 head, up 5% from last year. Other disappearances during March totaled 15,000 head, up 5,000 head from last year. A delegation of Kansas pet food industry representatives traveled to Bangkok, Thailand to attend Pet Food Forum Asia and the VicTam Asia Trade Show back in late March. The delegation was able to assess current trends in the pet food market and establish business connections in Asia. The animal food manufacturing industry provides an economic contribution of approximately $7.2 billion to the state of Kansas. The trade mission was made possible by a state trade and export program grant, funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. Up next in our Ag Feature, we talk with Ryan Flickner from Kansas Farm Bureau about the state's legislative veto session that started on Wednesday. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned. Thank you for watching Kansas Ag Report. You have made us the highest rated ag TV show in the state of Kansas, and we thank you. If you'd like to advertise your business on Kansas's most watched ag TV show, give us a call at 785-580-3287.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business, providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Spring is sprung and Premier Farm & Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergence, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm & Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're at the Farm Bureau office over in Manhattan. We're joined by Ryan Flickner, who is the Senior Director for Public Policy. That's a mouthful, Ryan.
It is. It takes up the full business card.
It does. Yeah, not only that, we just wasted 3 minutes trying to get through your title. It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're coming into veto session. Probably nothing more important than the budget.
Yeah, the veto session came back on April 27th, last Wednesday, and that was a week after the Consensus Revenue Estimating Group, another mouthful, met on April 20th to really figure out what the revenue projections are for the state, not only for the rest of this current fiscal year 16, which lasts until June 30th, but also to give a solid estimate for what to expect in fiscal year 17. Which will start July 1 and then take us through the non-legislative session, if you will, and then the 2017 session after we have another round of elections come back in January of 2017.
Positive, still somewhat. Glass half full, half empty. We'll start there, right?
Well, I'll let the politicians answer the half full or half empty question. But without question, I think there's now 11 out of 12 months of the last year that have not met the revenue estimates. They've been below estimates now. Some argue that they've been higher. The revenues have been higher than the year previous, and revenues continue to come in the state. But without question, they're not meeting the estimate that the estimate revenue, or the consensus estimate revenue group comes up with twice a year. And to that end, it was a $228 million shortfall. Now that's based off 2 fiscal years. So for fiscal year 16, the remainder of that, the state is about $140 million short of where the estimate was. And then for fiscal year 17, it'll be short about $151 million. And that's how you get the 228.
Okay. Moving, there's not much we can do till we get to June. And we knew we were going to be short this year. We kind of went through this last year. You and I talked about this time last year. We knew we were going to be short. the estimate for fiscal year 17, is it starting to shrink or is it starting to expand a little bit?
Well, it's a little bit higher, a larger shortfall than the current fiscal year, and you're exactly right. The legislature came back in on the 27th of April. It's the veto session. They could go, another historic 113, 114 days like they did last year. Now, I don't think very many people anticipate that, but whatever they do during the veto session, there won't be enough tax revenues or any tax revenues that they can actually implement that would take care of the shortfall for the remainder of this current fiscal year. So the only way to balance the budget, if that's what the prerogative of the legislature is to cut expenditures somewhere down the road. And part of that, the governor has actually had 3 different proposals that he rolled out shortly after that consensus revenue group met. All of them include about a $70 million cut to KDOT, Kansas Department of Transportation, for fiscal year 16, and a $115 million cut to KDOT for fiscal year 17. As part of that, KDOT did announce that they were going to put on hold and delay some upgrades and some other maintenance type programs that they had planned all across the state for both of those fiscal years coming up.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about an election year coming up. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're at the Manhattan office of Farm Bureau, and we're joined by Ryan Flickner. Ryan, thanks for staying with us. As we left the first segment, we were talking about how much money was coming out of KDOT. If we really think about transportation here in the state of Kansas, especially in those rural communities, we're thinking about moving grain, cattle, goods and services up and down those roads. It really makes it difficult.
It does, and over the next 2 years, here's another $185 million that has been taken out of, quote-unquote, the bank of KDOT, and I know that's a term that gets thrown around quite a lot, but we ask the question of our members, and I think most taxpayers do, what is the role of government? Mm-hmm. And if you look at it from the township level, there are township roads, there are county roads that, township dollars, county dollars, those tax dollars go to maintain and build those type of infrastructure routes. Then there are state roads that our state tax dollars are theoretically supposed to go to build out and maintain, and same thing with federal roads, interstate and U.S. highways. So without question, there's an awful lot of goods and services that leave, the North 40 of somebody's quarter section, and they end up on a gravel road, which end up on a county road, which may end up on some type of state road before they end up at a terminal or an elevator, or they get shipped out and value added somewhere else. So without question, infrastructure and roads are extremely important to make sure that we can not only get our inputs that we need to grow those commodities into the field or the farm, but also those commodities that are grown, get those pushed out and to the county elevator or the sale barn.
And real quick, 1 year behind puts us actually 2 years behind. When we're talking about road maintenance, it's something you've got to keep up on. So.
You do, and there's been a lot of tragedies. The Minnesota bridge collapse of a few years ago. If you read the federal studies, Kansas is one of the top states with deficient bridges. Now, does that mean that they're going to collapse? God, we hope not.
Right.
But without question, we've got to make sure that we're continuing to maintain, upgrade where it's applicable, and then for those areas that are growing, whether it's urban communities that just put a lot more roads or vehicles on the road, or if it's western Kansas where we just have a lot more truck traffic moving cattle and pigs and more bushels of grain from the farm to the market, we got to make sure that our roads are safe and adequate for what we're using them for today. And
real quick, we've got about 30 seconds here. Moran, you guys just came out and endorsed him for his re-election.
Yep, a couple weeks ago, we made the official endorsement announcement to endorse Senator Jerry Moran for a second term in the United States Senate. Very excited excited about that. We've actually been working on that endorsement for about 2 months now. We have a PAC, the voters, Vote FBF, Voters Organized to Elect Friends of Farm Bureau. That group actually made the official endorsement back in February, and we've been working with Senator Moran's campaign team to get that public.
It's spring planting time. Rural roads are filled with tractors, presenting special dangers for motorists. The most common accident occurs when a slow-moving farm vehicle makes a wide left turn. Drivers, slow down on rural roads. Stay back from farm equipment. Pass only when your vision is unobstructed and the road is clear. When farmers pull off the roadway, watch for them to motion you around. Bottom line, practice patience during the temporary inconvenience. Parents, talk to your teen drivers about the additional dangers during planting season. Farmers, when driving machinery on a public road, display a red flag atop a 12 to 14-foot pole to alert motorists even when you're hidden by a rise or curve. When rounding a curve, stay to the right as much as possible, but avoid soft or steep shoulders. Take extra precautions whenever the sun impairs visibility. Avoid the roads during the morning and evening commutes, in bad weather, and at night. Use pilot cars if going a considerable distance, and always display slow-moving vehicle emblems. If traffic lines up behind you, pull over and let it pass when safe to do so. Use electric or hand turn signals. Finally, never take any railroad crossing for granted. For more information, call Kansas State University's Farm Safety Program at 785-532-5813.
Preventable injury is the leading single killer of Kansas children. More children die annually from preventable unintentional injuries than from all childhood diseases combined. Adults agree that child safety is an important topic. The trick is getting the kids to agree. In an effort to reduce accidents by developing safety-minded youth, Kansas Farm Bureau has sponsored a safety poster program since 1950. County Farm Bureaus begin promoting this program in their local schools each fall, and each year several thousand youth in grades 1 through 6 participate statewide. There are 3 divisions. Division 1 consists of grades 1 and 2, Division 2 grades 3 and 4, and Division 3 grades 5 and 6. Posters are judged at the county level, where the top poster from each division is then submitted for judging at the state level. The posters are then narrowed down to the top 15 in each division and are judged by a team of volunteers who select the winning posters for each of these divisions. Individual counties choose which prizes to provide their winners. Over the years, I've heard prizes range from a trophy to ice cream certificates, t-shirts, and even summer pool passes. At the state level, top 5 winners from each division receive a package including a check, a certificate highlighting their winning poster, and one of KFB's Kaylee's Ag Adventure Series books. Their posters are also displayed in our website at kfb.org and during the State Fair in Hutchinson in September. Honorable mention winners receive a letter and a certificate. Here are some of the 2016 winning posters from each division. Enjoy!
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Spring is sprung, and Premier Farm and Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergents, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm and Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand. And I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
The Kansas Division of Animal Health held a hearing April 20th on proposed changes to state regulations on trichomoniasis in cattle. KLA testified in favor of the regulation, which more clearly outlines instances when cattle are subject to trichomoniasis quarantine and how the animals can be released from quarantine. The rule does not substantially change existing regulations that apply to bulls, but does expand the regulation to cover cows over the age of 12 months. Current regulations require most bulls coming to Kansas from other states and bulls changing ownership within Kansas to test negative. Virgin bulls 18 months and younger can be brought into Kansas if accompanied by a certificate of veterinary inspection and a statement indicating the bulls have not been exposed to breeding age females. KLA worked with state officials to ensure the proposed regulation will represent a balance that protects Kansas cattle herds while not unduly infringing on the individual management and marketing of breeding cattle. One issue KLA supported was ensuring separately owned cattle that may have been commingled are subject to separate quarantines to allow for differences in herd management. Also, KLA supported a neighbor notification rule that only requires the owner of a positive trichomoniasis herd to report known adjacent herd owners to the Division of Animal Health rather than have the individual do a title search of all adjacent herd owners.
Good morning. I'm Derek Ermish with Paragon Ag. We have now seen a fairly extensive range in the movement of corn, soybean, and wheat prices over the last couple of weeks, and we have only just now made it to May 1st on the calendar. Soybeans have certainly experienced the biggest rally by price and percentage since the nearby lows of March 1st. Wheat and corn have been less willing participants in their upward price movement, but there has been enough positive price action to classify as an opportunity, albeit a small one, for the news we have to go off of at this point in the year. No one knows what the price will do from here, but you would be hard-pressed to imagine the volatility we have seen recently will just disappear and return to the sideways grind we saw over the late fall through early spring. Fall to market prices for a farmer offer both opportunities and frustrations. The biggest frustrations usually come with missed opportunities, but sometimes they can come from indulging too much in that first opportunity. Simply put, take a cookie when it's offered, but leave room for pie. And for those that are frustrated with the day-to-day movement of the market that seems to happen seemingly without reason, it can be refreshing to humble yourself with the reminder that you have absolutely no control or ability to predict what the market price will do, no more than you do the weather. And that puts you in the same boat as everyone else. I'm Derek Ermish. Have a good day.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansasAGreport.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.